Today on CCX News.
This is the first, so you're witnessing history right here.
A first-of-its-kind place in Minnesota that's now open in New Hope. Advocates for people with disabilities say their clients are an untapped resource for employers. Now there's a place in New Hope at the ready and willing to help.
Think of this as a hub for anyone who has a disability and their families to be able to receive the services and the supports that they need.
The Twin Cities nonprofit LifeWorks Services is behind the grand opening of the brand new Center for Disability Inclusion. It's a place where people with disabilities can access job training, employment, and support services. Not only will it help serve families in the Northwest Metro, but also families across the state.
It is long overdue for us to begin to think about people with disabilities just as humans. People with disabilities bring so much value to our communities. They are an untapped workforce. We talk about the workforce shortage, and yet most people with disabilities are unemployed and they want to work.
Employers can use the center too as a way to connect with potential workers. It's been over a week since House DFLers returned to the state capitol after reaching a power-sharing agreement with Republicans. Since that time, a lot has taken place. In today's Newsmakers, Shannon Slatton sat down with Representative Kristen Bahner of Maple Grove to talk about her work on homeowners association reform.
Well, you know, we were continually hearing as legislators from constituents across the board for years about really some of the challenges they were experiencing around homeowners associations, boards, property managers, the whole gamut. And sadly, you know, we really didn't have anything in statute that could really protect consumers. And the AG, unfortunately, had very little authority to do anything because there was no statute to lean on. And I know a number of states have been looking at this issue. 82% of new homes fall under an association. So the old adage of if you don't like it, you don't have to move there, really doesn't hold true anymore, right? And with the increase in the number of associations, we continue to see those challenges arise. A few states have tried, but we decided it was time to do the work.
All right. So last session, you guys did a lot of listening, a lot of research, and what did you learn from that, and what are you going to do with that information?
Well, exactly. So we did, in addition to the work group over many, many months, taking a look at these issues, we also did a number of listening sessions at all four corners of the metro area to hear from actual individuals who live in homeowners associations, and really dive in. And what we found is a set of themes. We heard some pretty common complaints, some areas where there was a lot of conflict of interest. We heard challenges around dissolution, dispute resolution, things like an individual who was foreclosed on her house with 30 days notice over a $56 fine. And I think most of us can agree that's just not reasonable. Sure. And so what it really underlined is that there's a real need to make some changes in statute and to the law to give consumers some better protections, but also for those boards who are made up primarily of individuals who volunteer for that work, that they have better sort of rules of the road to follow, that they're set up for success. And unfortunately, the way the law is written today doesn't really allow them to have a really good perspective on what their roles and responsibilities are, what they should and shouldn't do, and really how to be successful. And I think our hope is that we can both protect consumers and put those guardrails in place, but also really give the tools for boards and associations and property managers to be successftional.
All right. Of course, anything that passes this time will have to have bipartisan support. How do you think this is going to go for this issue?
Well, we just had a committee in the hearing in housing the other day. They asked us to walk through the report and the recommendations of the work group, as well as kind of peek at some of the new legislation coming, which we think will be introduced next week. I will tell you we have bipartisan authors in the House and Senate, okay. Senator Lucero and Senator Pa in the Senate, as well as myself and Representative Meckland in the House. We have tons of bipartisanship across the board. Even in the hearings, you could really hear the excitement that we're finally going to tackle this issue from so many folks. So lots of excitement and good bipartisan effort.
All right, like to hear that, and we'll see how it goes. Representative Kristen Bahner of Maple Grove, thanks for stopping by.
A Cooper High School junior has found a home on the school's debate team. In today's edition of Standout Student, Kevin Miller introduces us to tournament champion Lily Plon.
It's either like people's opinion on a blog or like a tech company that is making these weapons being like, oh, they're so great.
In this Cooper High School classroom.
And there's the joint defensive response in the bill, which is like, we're going to take economic and military measures to protect the integrity of a nation.
Lily Plon finds delight in political discourse.
The debate team is definitely the only spot where I get to be able to fully talk about like international politics or even a lot of domestic policy in the U.S.
These difficult debates
Yeah, I know she's in one of them.
bring a chance to connect and learn.
There's no other activity where I would be able to go up to a kid from another school and be like, did you hear about the conflict in the Middle East this weekend? Or like something like that.
Debate coach DJ Brennison says in-class practice sessions helped prepare Lily for a larger stage.
They do a great job of taking incredibly complex ideas and concepts and kind of breaking them down into digestible ideas.
And all that practice has paid off. Lily won first in congressional debate at the state tournament in January.
So I cried my eyes out when I found out that I won. It was a really heavy and emotional moment.
And that big win cements Lily's place in Cooper's history of great debaters.
Another part of winning state was just being able to prove I'm here and Robbinsdale is here. We may be a small team, but we are like very mighty.
In New Hope, Kevin Miller, CCX News.